Ew. Hey everybody, welcome back to Andertons TV. Today we are playing around with one of our favourite little sort of amp in a box pedals here. I suppose, correctly named Ampli-Firebox. But this is the Mark II version from the guys at Atomic. Mark II. And Atomic amps, if you're not familiar, have got a big heritage in making, devices that digitally emulate guitar amplifiers and bass amplifiers and add effects in and stuff like that. So they're not as well known as the sort of Line 6s of the world, but it's kind of, they're in that field, that ballpark.
Yeah.
I think Firebox is, the Firebox range has probably been the most successful products they've done because they kind of sit in this. They were one of the first adopters, if you like, of this idea that people like Strymon with the Iridium have taken forward, that you might just literally want a little box on your desktop that you're very simple to use. There's really very little sense that, you're editing this in the traditional way. Really simple to use, really high quality. Could go on the end of a pedal board for live, could go in the studio, super portable. So this is Firebox Mark II, and what you heard Pete play during that first clip there was literally just plugged into this, straight into our desk. We do have a distortion pedal in front of it, but I didn't use that at all. So everything you heard, the amp modeling, the boosts function, the reverb, everything is what's in here.
Yes.
And I suppose the idea is to just sort of take you through, hopefully in this demonstration, a quick idea of what it will do and why, I think it's a really great contender up against things like, the Iridium. And I suppose things like the DSM Humboldt, the Walrus ACS one, all that kind of stuff. Very, very cool.
Yep.
So we're going to jump between the overhead cam looking at this, the beautiful picture of Pete Tenori in all of his glory, and the screenshot of this computer here, which is running the editor. And I guess if we look at it now, you'll see that the editor is really just a blown up version of the pedal and is really very intuitive to use.
Yes.
I'll start with what we can do from the pedal without the editor. Okay, so without the editor, we've got 8 knobs on here controlling pretty standard stuff. So the top row is all EQ based, bass, middle, treble, presence. The bottom row does gain, master, the effect level, and an overall level. The switches in the middle here switch between 3 kinds of amplifiers, which you can preload which amps they're going to be, 3 types of cab, which again you can preload which 3 they are, and 3 favorite positions. So imagine like 3 presets. Yeah, not those kind of positions.
Hey.
We've got 2 switches on here which are entirely assignable to anything that you want them to be within reason, and a couple of outputs on the side here, an XLR output, which is what you're hearing, a separate line output, which you can assign to either have the cabinet emulation on or not. So imagine the idea of Soundman gets the XLR output, normal output goes into some sort of on-stage power amp and guitar cabinet for you.
Oh, that's clever.
On the back, we've just got the power amp in. I'm loving the fact that it only needs 9 volts, 200 milliamps, so you can literally power this off a normal pedal board if you wanted to, pedal board power supply, USB, input socket on the side.
Is that a headphone jack there I see on the side?
I do apologise. Yes,
a
mini jack headphone socket. Well spotted. Our setup for the day is guitars coming in here, out of this pedal, which is a Brown amplification, sort of dual stage overdrive, into the Firebox and straight into our desk.
Your ears.
Yes, into your ears. So let's start with, if I go back to that first favourite that we had, we're going to switch over to the screen now. I'll hopefully try and use the mouse so that it's helpful for you to see what I'm talking about. You can see that the settings on the knobs have changed compared to the pedal. That's because we've recalled a preset. And you can see down here are this line of effects blocks. Just in case you're not aware what the abbreviations are, we've got a gate, compressor, a boost, the amp modeling, EQ, echo, reverb, and cab. And then, depending on which one I've pressed on, so if I press the boost, for example, you'll see the boost block gets a little bit bigger, and underneath we get some parameters to change the boost. Likewise, the compression, same for all of these. If the square is a color, that means it's on within this particular setting. And if the square is grayed out like this one, it just means that it's off within that setting. And that's kind of as simple as it needs to be. If you go down into the foot switches here, you can assign what the foot switches even are going to do. And actually, the foot switches are multi-purpose, so you can either have them so that they call up different effects, and again they can call up multiple selections of effects at the same time if you want to, or you can have them so that they toggle through your favorites, so you can go up and down through your favorites. You could have it as a bypass if you wanted to. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but if you just want to turn the effect, the whole thing off, you can do.
Okay.
Pretty cool, pretty clever. Out the box, I think it typically will do like boost and echo as your sort of two.
Yeah.
You have to. So,
echo.
Let's get into, what have we got here? I suppose where you've got the most number of different options would be within the amp. So you can now see these are all the different amp settings, and typically on a pedal like this over the years that it'll be out, you might find that, you know, this gets expanded. And then over here on the cab, you can see that works a little differently. So when I press the cabinet thing to load the cabinets, that then looks for the folder on your laptop of IRs that you have. So we've simply used the free download from the Atomic website of the sort of IRs that they've used for other Atomic products.
Yeah.
But if you have your favorite, you know, Celestion pack or whatever, you know, just you can use those. So you've got almost an infinite number of different cabs that you might want to use. So you just choose the one that you want, as we've done there. If you were to select one of the other boxes, the options become a little bit simpler. Let's just show you reverb, for example, now. So I've just got 5 or 6 different types of reverb, seven different types of reverb. Woof. And just bear in mind, if you see this little red line down the side here, you'll go, oh, hang on, there's more. Look, so you've got to scroll down to find those. That's it. That's the editor. I have to say, it's like
super simple.
They've nailed the whole WYSIWYG nature of the editor.
And does that? Oh yeah. So if you click that or turn that, you can see what's happening on the screen as you turn.
It's not Bluetooth, so it's got to be connected. It's got to be connected by USB to your computer, but that's pretty standard as well. And there's no real lag or latency or anything. It operates completely fine connected via USB. So yeah, look, that's easy. The kind of overview. So I guess now it's just about should we just try and get some sounds that we like? Maybe mess around with some different things. So
absolutely.
The first, we used a deluxe, I think, for that first sound. So we'll try something else. We had a deluxe for the first sound, a hot Brit for the second sound, and a top boost, like an AC30 for the third sound. There's loads in here.
Loads and loads.
We may not go too close to the super high gain stuff, as there are better demonstrators out there.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a crunch rock tone, maybe with some humbuggers or something. That would be nice.
Well, okay, so we're going to take a short intermission now whilst we load up the Plexi and find a cab that sounds good with it and stuff, and we'll be back in a mo. Okay, here's a Plexi that we found with a 412 cabinet, and you can see as well I've loaded in some delay and the boost as well. Interestingly, I'm going to show you again how effective the gate is on here. So the first bit that Pete plays is going to be with all of the hum that some people like.
Yeah, it is.
Bit more natural. If I put the gate in, we'll see whether or not it gives a sense of, do we lose anything, or do we just lose the hum, which is obviously all we want to lose. So there's the gate in. feel like it's choking the note off, but you mean it's just like a...
I think there's a little, you can kind of feel, I'm not a big fan of the noise gate because I feel like it's taking something away from me, you know, it's like wearing rubber gloves to touch some...
Look, you'll know, you know, again, depending on the kind of music that you're recording, how much you need the gate in there. And of course, we've got the gate set incredibly low. We're not trying to use it like a gated,
or like a chucking,
a genty kind of thing. Let's change guitars and try
it.
We'll venture into the slightly more dangerous zone.
Yeah,
it's a very nice colour, purple sky, Pete. Where did you get that from?
I don't know.
Purple sky, silver sky.
Purple sky. That's exactly what it just turned up, didn't it? It was just there all of a sudden, one day from the next.
So I haven't changed anything yet. We're just little noodle around on here, and then here we go.
Definitely different already.
It sounds like it's doing a really good job of emulating that more saggy kind of plexi thing where you really feel like the power amp's struggling to kind of, you know, be open, and it's a good sound. That
it is a good sound. Just seeing when if the
gate kicks in, which it didn't, which is obviously.
No, that was the. Then you see Lucas play it with he sort of bends into the note instead of going. Here we go. Instead of people going. He'll go. He'll bend.
He's very good.
Bend up to the note instead.
I'm going to try and find another slightly higher gain amplifier, and then after that we'll go back to a cleaner amp and see how it works with, you know, your normal pedals plugged into it.
You might know that song. If you don't,
okay,
you have to listen to it.
So that was I mean, that's pretty heavy. Obviously, we've gone with one of the Recto amp models there with some tube screamer in the front end and obviously a bit of reverb and stuff. You can see on the screen what we're doing. It's so simple to use.
It is really simple. But it sounds great on the back pickup there. Satchel would be very proud.
Right.
He would probably have called Retro or something else though, wouldn't he?
I'm going to go back to the Deluxe that we used right at the very beginning of this.
Yeah.
So again, you can see on the screen, in fact, I'm going to take the boost off here. So this is now just a clean Deluxe kind of sound with a little bit of compression. And now what I'm going to do is see how it reacts with a drive pedal.
Let's just go back to the other guitar, Lee, before we do that.
Shout.
Because purple always sounds slightly better.
Purple. We've got plenty of green in the pedal. We don't need any more green with the guitar. We need purple. All right, let's give it a try. Let's level this up and see what we get. So here's the clean.
That's great.
Totally perfectly happy having different distortion pedals in the front of it. I mean, we've got two sides to this, so let's
two sides to
like
one Nothing wrong wrong with that.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that, man.
Let's just
maybe a lot of reverb there.
Yeah, well, you know me. It's because I'm in the driving seat. I've got all the reverb.
You can turn the effects down on the top of the pedal.
That's
there
true.
As well.
I'm so into this editor now. I just don't feel the need.
You're getting into Max as well, aren't you?
So no. Right, let's just see again. I'm just going to flick through the different kinds of overdrive. We'd be here all day if we tried to do every single amp model and every single reverb and echo and everything like that. But it's honestly, it's very, very cool.
Simple.
So let's just whiz through. Here is, what have we got here? We've got a tube screamery kind of vibe going on. You maybe turn the reverb down now. No, I need more. I've turned the compressor off. I don't think you need a compressor for this kind of sound. I'm just going to stick with just the boost thangs. Here's the tube screamer. Here's the overdrive. Bit heavier distortion.
I'm going to back pick up.
Fuzz. And
a clean
and the
boost.
last one is just a clean boost. Oh, it's a bonkers amount of stuff in a little box. It's not crazy expensive.
Firebox.
I think MAP in the US is $3.99. In UK, it's $3.79. Obviously, that's including UK VAT. We're obviously shipping these all over Europe as well. And actually, if you've not seen it, there's a little video up here that tells you how the post sort of Brexit kind of changes have affected shipping stuff into Europe. So yeah, even in euros, I'd be surprised if this works out more than sort of 450 euros, including your sort of local VAT and duty and stuff like that. So I think it's a ton of stuff.
It is. We need to shoot out. We need to shoot it out with the Iridium and the AC. What's it called? The AC.
Well, it's funny when we did the last shootout with Firebox One versus Iridium and DSM and
Yeah.
I liked the Firebox One pretty much the best in that shootout.
It's got some great tones in it. Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of feel like Firebox 2 will inevitably, take that on another level. But you are, excuse me, I've just drunk a can of Coke and I got burpees. But
Burpees.
look, you are right. A shootout is the way to go. But I really like that. I think there's a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah. And it's sturdy. Well, you don't think it's a sturdy piece of metal. The casing is really good. Yeah. The switches feel nice, and they've got the soft kind of switching on it. So what's not to like? I mean, the thing is, it's not a stereo pedal. So
okay, so that's cool. Good to end on some constructive criticism. So not stereo.
I think
is the Iridium stereo?
I'm not sure. This one I think is stereo.
Yeah, ACS has got a stereo in and out. Although I'm not sure whether I think the idea of ACS 1 being stereo was that you could have a different amp on each side if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's got it to
Iridium stereo. Okay, so if you're into your stereo thing, what you need is two Ampli-Firebox Mark IIs next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's well, we can do the shootout and compare all the specs like that, and I'm sure on the website, if you want to look into it, you can.
Yeah, no, I really like it. It's a crazy kind of. There's a lot of product coming out now, whether it's this kind of format or powered pedals and stuff, where you really are talking about having a board with all, your 3 or 4 favorite pedals on, your little amp modeler, your kind of potential little power amp. And it's like, is that it? That's the future, is it now? Just like guitar and a gig bag on one hand, little pedal board on the other hand.
With amp and everything.
Just turn up where, bosh.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be some
and
kicks.
way simpler than, if you go full multi-effects. And of course, lots of you will have gone down the sort of the Kemper, Helix, Axe Effects, and of course the new Neural QC, which is doing amazing as well. That's a whole if you want to go like to a whole nother level of effects and editing and stuff. But at this kind of price and for this simplicity,
super.
It's just super. Really, really like that.
We're
really
rambling.
impressed.
Well, thank you very much for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and subscribe to the video. Hit the notification bell. And we will see you. I was going to hold your hand up there, Till. And we will see you soon.
Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.